A Mississippi lawmaker says that presumed racist comments recently attributed to him were actually taken out of context and that they were supposed to be off the record. Now, anytime someone is accused of something and they say out of context and it was expected to be off the record, I laugh. Now, out of context can be legitimate. So if we remember what happened with Shirley Sherrod and her supposedly racist speech, which wasn't racist, it was deliberately taken out of context. Off the record is absurd. It's kind of like I only said it because I was drunk, or I shouldn't have said it around the people that it was about. That does not at all change the reality of what you said. So let's analyze. What did Republican State Representative Gene Alday tell the Clarion Ledger? He said he was against increased funding for education, and in particular, he's against funding to improve literacy. And during his explanation, he said he comes from, quote, a town where all the blacks are getting food stamps and what I call welfare crazy checks. They don't work. He then went on to talk about a time that he went to an emergency room and he said, quote, this is just insane. I laid in there for hours because the blacks were in there being treated for gunshots. He didn't deny saying the comments. He just said, I'm not racist. Quote, I am definitely not racist at all because I get along with everybody and I've spent a long time helping people. He says that his comments were quoted out of context. He also said, I have a way of talking and saying, take this off the record. He believed the comments were off the record and that he has no problem whatsoever with African Americans. Lewis, is his damage control skill high or low here?
Pretty low. Also, there's no such thing as off the record. There is, when you are speaking and someone is listening or someone has a recording device, there is no such thing as off the record. Maybe in a court of law, but not in the public opinion.
State Republicans distancing themselves from Alday right away. Rep. Alday is solely responsible for his own remarks, said Governor Phil Bryant. I condemn the comments recently made by Gene Alday, said Republican House Speaker Philip Gunn. They don't reflect the views of the Republican Party. So out of context certainly doesn't seem accurate, and off the record means he didn't want the comments to be public because on some level he must have recognized that they were embarrassing.
Well, I guess not at the time he was saying them, but certainly afterwards when trying to do this damage control, yeah. But my guess is that he just sits around making comments like this all day.
Well, the funny thing to me is when will they figure out that you can't say that the problem is your statement was taken out of context because the sentence itself, unless it was preceded by what I'm about to say is only a joke, is offensive. So sometimes the only context that would change it would be if it was part of some kind of satirical routine where you meant the opposite of what you said.
Yeah, like if you are on stage holding a microphone at a comedy venue, and then perhaps you have some plausible deniability.